I don't know if you guys have heard, but there apparently has been in production for a while a documentary all on the creation of Epic Universe. And a lot of theme park fans were excited to see this. And when they heard about it, it was like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be like the Imagineering story Universal style. And that's definitely what they have hyped it up to be, that being Universal. But for some reason, it's been delayed. Not once, but twice, which is very strange. Supposed to be coming out in November. We'll see. But I wanted to go ahead and bring this article forward because it speculates as to why this may have happened. And, well, if in fact we're going to be getting it for real this time in November of this year. Here we go from Fantasyland News. Epic Universe Annual Pass reveal scrapped. Why did Universal delay its Epic Universe documentary? Very interesting. Epic Ride, the story of Universal theme parks, has now been rescheduled 3 different times. The first delay was in July of 2025 and was moved to September 29th, 2025, and now it has been delayed again until November 17th, 2025, according to Attractions Magazine. Epic Ride, the story of Universal theme parks, will now premiere on that date, November 17, 2025. This 3-part docuseries celebrates the history and legacy of Universal destinations and experiences through unprecedented access, rare archival, and intimate interviews with directors, producers, executives, and A-list celebrities. Sounds fantastic, but why? Why has this been delayed so many times? And Universal, as this article notes, provides no official reason, but there are 2 compelling theories that it presents.
This is the one that immediately came to my mind when I heard it.
Right. The tragic incident in Stardust Racers. We won't be getting into the details surrounding that case, just in respect to the family and the tragedy involved right there. But I had heard that the reason why this second reschedule came about was specifically because of this incident. Because as one could probably surmise, there will be a lot to do regarding Stardust Racers in this documentary. Have you guys heard anything on this? That's what I'm hearing, and I've heard that's
I haven't heard a thing, but it certainly came to mind immediately that they just wanted to make sure all the ducks were in a row.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Because on Stardust Racers, in light of the recent incident, or just like a documentary on like Mac Rides building this thing?
Because we don't know what the content was, so we have to say that if they're re-editing it to reflect something that was problematic before, I don't know.
It could also be a timing issue too. So when I was there on opening day, I remember I saw the camera crew and they were filming the Isle of Burke area, and so they've been rolling with this thing for quite a while now. And honestly, I doubt they'll re-edit anything. It could be the case, I don't know what stage of editing or close to release this film really was. But it does seem like it's pretty tacky to be like, hey, let's talk about how amazing and great Stardust Racers are right after a tragedy occurred. It wouldn't be great PR for them, especially for a documentary they've been working on for this long. And going back to, probably a few years creating this whole park. So... Right. They probably are just waiting for proper timing. I could see this maybe waiting for either next year or possibly like a Christmas release maybe. Do we know a new release date yet?
For this documentary, yeah, November of 2025 is going to be the date, November 17th, to be more specific. It's interesting. There have been some that have been exposed to at least some of the content featured in this documentary, like this, for example, from Attractions Magazine, Epic Ride, the story of Universal Theme Parks review, and they talk about the candor by which a lot of the people featured in the documentary actually speak when talking about the history of both Universal and Epic Universe. Like, for example, it tracks the history of Universal in chronological order, documenting the process and preparation for Epic Universe on the ground inside the park during its first 6 months of operation, or construction, I should say. You'll see a rehearsal for La Cirque Arcanus, new show inside Arcanu, sorry. Yeah. That's going to be the Wizarding World show right there, but apparently it completely goes wrong. You'll hear from former Universal executives complain about former Disney CEO Michael Eisner, and you'll see the moment when engineers flew the flying drones intended for How to Train Your Dragon's Isle of Burke, and understanding that they would not be ready for opening day. So they reveal a lot in here, and that's part of the reason why so many people have been looking forward to this.
Hey, side note totally, but maybe they'll have 7 drones and Santa flying over the park for Christmas.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. They certainly could do something quite like that.
Anyway. But the other thing that struck me about this one, I was anxious to see it, and I get my Peacock for free as part of my Walmart Plus membership, but I don't get the premium version. And I thought, and they're holding this for people who pay for the premium, so I won't be able to see it anyway unless I do that. And I thought, haven't they got the marketing cart before the horse? Isn't the idea to put as much of Epic in people's homes as you can to get them to come to the park, rather than use Epic Curiosity as a way of selling streaming? And it reminded me of that horrific stuff they did on opening day with those so-called influencers. And the first time I heard about the delay, I wondered if maybe they had cut a lot of that stuff out of it that was originally going to be in it.
That's an interesting idea. I never thought about that.
But the second one, I believe, is related to the roller coaster. But the first one, I thought maybe they realized after that experience that having all these so-called influencer dweebs be the host was probably not the best thing. So
yeah, that's a fair point. Very, very interesting. I never really thought about that, but you might be right. They might have incorporated a lot of that into this documentary right here. So for theory 2 on why this documentary might have been postponed a number of times, again, 3 times this Epic Universe documentary was postponed. Here it says right here, the second reason we are hearing from inside sources concerns a major announcement regarding the Epic Universe Annual Pass. Sources are reporting that Universal Orlando was reportedly set to announce the availability of Epic Universe Annual Passes. This news was apparently slated to be a featured segment, either a commercial-like reveal or an official press release during the 3-part documentary series as it was rolled out.
That's a stupid idea. They're because they're each events and news stories worthy of themselves. When you put 2 things like that in the same thing, you dilute the impact of both just by virtue of compounding it, I think.
Interesting. It is not known when the Universal Epic Annual Pass was to be implemented into multi-park passes. Rumor is the Epic AP would start January 1st, 2026. That's a very interesting theory, Lou. I had not previously considered that. I will say, if you want to get all eyes onto your onto the announcement that APs would be coming, I suppose that would be an idea. But to your point, it would maybe diminish that. I guess my question for MJ,
it's shooting 2 shots with the same gun. It's foolish, in my opinion, from a marketing point of view.
MJ, would you, if you were to find yourself watching this documentary on TV, I suppose, would you be inclined to buy an AP for that includes Epic Universe if promoted simultaneously?
I would definitely be inclined to buy a AP for Epic. Absolutely, yes. That would be a goal. And like you guys all know already, we are locals. We're not that far from the parks, so it would really be a good bang for our buck. That's how.
Sure.
Yeah.
But show the whole world a thing that makes everybody want to go to Orlando. And most people are not going to buy an annual pass if they're from out of the area. That's just the nature of the beast. Locals, sure. So I would say an intense promotion to locals of, hey, you've been waiting. Here it is.
Yeah.
By the way, you said January 1st. What date did we say in the previous story the Christmas stuff runs until? Wasn't it January 3rd or 4th?
4th. Yeah.
Okay. Now the question is, when does it start?
So the Christmas stuff.
I'm saying, could they get some shots of that happening into the end of their documentary?
I believe it's November 24th, but I could be wrong, Vash. You want to double check that? November 21st?
Yes, November 21st.
Yep. Okay, so well, then maybe not, or they could show them preparing it. But
they could show them preparing it, yeah.
As great as it all is, wait till you see it this holiday season. That would make sense.
That would make sense. Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about the incorporation of some of the holiday stuff with this in order to promote maybe the holiday season. That's really something right there.
I can't have it. I think this way. Anyway.
Yes, you do. Well, look, I don't know why Universal would announce 3 separate dates for this thing. I'm just not sure. I'm very confident that the second reason why they delayed it was because of everything involving Stardust Racers. There's not a doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah.
The other 2 reasons, I don't know. I mean, perhaps one could speculate that, okay, maybe ticket sales have been going extremely well, and rolling out APs premature might impact that business and so forth. So it's like, okay, if we were going to do a tie-in like this, maybe you postpone it, but I'm not sure. The holiday inclusion. That's a very interesting idea right there. I've never really thought about that. Hey, if any of you guys in the chat or in the comment section down below are looking forward to this documentary, please let me know, because I don't know. Maybe they delayed it so much that enthusiasm for this has waned just a little
because
bit.
most people won't know. People who just are sitting there at their Peacock saying, "Oh, look, here it is at last," are not noting when they canceled it or why they canceled it or anything else. And they can just say, "Well, we've been working on it so hard, we wanted to make it perfect."
All right, that's a fair point.
So, look, every time we see a story and we think, "God, that's huge," there's still millions of people out there who aren't even aware there is such a thing as Epic Universe, believe it or not.
That is
And so I tend to be skeptical of some of those innovations. So
they did that marketing on purpose, Lou. I believe they made sure not to, overdo it with the first year of the opening of Epic. I think they're going to go harder later on, but I think they're just doing like soft marketing. Because
and up capacity too. Right, exactly.
They're testing their water still. These guys, I mean, look, it raises an eyebrow, really, that, this place has been open how many months? 5, 6 months? And the ride we already lost a life on one of the rides. I mean, that's
but
there's a lot here involved. I mean, I don't know. I still think they're testing the waters on their crowd capacity. You guys all know already not much to do if the weather is bad. You only have a couple of things that you can do when the weather gets bad. They're going to probably fix that in the next year or two. I'm assuming they're going to expand. I would hope so.
Well, and Lauren's son went with his mother just recently, and he said they were only there for a couple hours, and they weren't able to go on any rides, but he loved just being there. There was so much to see and so much to hear and so much to do, and I think there's a lot of that going on, especially when they put the holiday stuff up in Celestial Park. Anyway. We'll see.
It's a fair point.
We'll see.
We will see, and let us know in the comments below if you are looking forward to it. I know I am, but I will say, even as a fan, a big fan, a little bit frustrated with Universal right now. But hey, all is forgiven if you do hold to the date, Universal, November 17th, 2025.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.